صباح الخير. أنا اسمي أحمد حمزاوي. النهاردة I'm going to talk to you about, if I can get out of the way, content creation tools. A quick introduction. I'm the head of engineering for Middle East and North Africa. So that covers, of course, the Northern Africa region from Morocco all the way to Egypt. وطبعا the Middle East minus Israel. That's a separate market for us. In terms of the teams that I have that are actually working on Arabic products, عندنا team based في سويسرا في زورخ, and this is actually where I'm based right now. وعندنا team في Mountain View, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. Which is actually, what is interesting, actually just about 2 weeks ago we hired our first engineer from Palestine, من Ramallah actually, so really happy about that. نعم? Yes, Iyad, exactly. In the Middle East, in terms of engineering, we don't have any offices as of right now. We do have other offices in the Middle East. This is one of them. I promise it's not the office, but we thought the logo was nice, so we may actually steal the design. I don't think it's not going to work. Okay, one sec. They want to give me a USB remote. No, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, good. Okay, خلاص. Okay. So, in terms of the Middle East and North Africa, I want to give you some quick statistics about it. It covers 18 countries. This is the market that we represent. There's over 324 million, around that approximately, people in this region. من ضمنهم, about 10% of them are actually online, so only 10%. But this is, of course, an average across all the different countries. طبعا there's some countries that are much higher, وفي طبعا there are many countries that are much lower. The interesting stats that you might want to think about is, as a business, of course, is on the mobile side, there's around 175 million mobile users, and it's actually growing, for example, in 2008, 41%. The number of users coming online actually is growing at 32%, which is one of the largest growing markets in the world. And in terms of computers, there are about 20 million computers growing at a rate of about 20%. So one of the motivations for this specific session is to talk to you about developing an Arabic ecosystem as it relates to Arabic content. Okay? The main thing, one of the big focuses we have right now for Shirkat دلوقتي, نحن we want to focus on creating the tools that allow you as businesses, you as users, to create unique, original, high-quality Arabic content. Okay, so I want to encourage you to connect, to share, to collaborate with each other, to create this content. Bardo, we're engaging in content partnerships with those that have very good content, that we actually bring the content offline, bring it in also online. We also have machine translation tools, which we'll actually demo later on today. We have many products that are available today in Arabic, and we'll walk through some of those as it relates to content. And some of my colleagues here will demo some other applications later on that are also available in Arabic. The thing that's really important to know in the Middle East is that the small to medium-sized businesses, this is how the Middle East thrives. This is the heartbeat of these countries. If you look at the percentage of SMBs, small to medium-sized businesses, it's very high. So what we'd like to do is to help empower those companies get online, branch out of the specific local areas they're in, and actually have a voice online to be able to target users outside of the local area. So there's a lot of things that we can do there with a strong entrepreneurial spirit. I'll walk through again some of those later on. So just to give you, again, some more perspective about the alarming fact that we saw, at least on the Google side, about what's happening as it relates to Arabic content. Here's a nice little, very simple indication here about what's happening as it relates to Arabic content. So this here is the actual volume of search queries, طبعاً بالعربي, and this is the amount of data we have related to Arabic content. So طبعاً, you know, Arabic is one of the largest languages in the world. It's in the top 5. But if you look at all of the content that we've crawled across the whole web today, like Mohammed Gaudat was saying, we've stored all of this and indexed it on our side. Less than 1% of all that content available online today is in Arabic, and this is a huge issue. So with that, I wanted to take a quick poll and get a sense from you. How many, those that have companies here, how many have a website today? Okay, pretty good amount. Very good. And how many have integrated Google products into your website or the products that you provide? Very good, not bad. Some of this might be boring for you. You're going to see some of the demos I'll give. And how many are providing online content, especially, of course, in Arabic, whether it's video, actual text, etc. Very good. Okay, very good. You should all come talk to me later. Okay. So about the actual tools that we provide. So these are the ones that I'm going to be talking to you today about, again, only related to content creation. We'll talk about Blogger, YouTube, some of our translation tools. I'll also introduce to you Google Tarib, which is one of the products that my team built. And one of the engineers I was working on it was here yesterday to demo that. We'll talk about Knoll and, of course, Google Groups. So we will start with YouTube. And when I go through these slides, I want you to be thinking, especially you as business owners, how you can take what I'm showing you and incorporate that into your own business models. I think you'll see some really enlightening things. So first off with YouTube, one of the nice things that you can do is the functionality you see in YouTube today, you can largely replicate that on your own website. And I'll walk through some of the demos for that. If, you can watch videos, you can actually search for videos within your website directly, manage your favorites. You can also upload videos. You can add comments directly from your own website. One of the nice things, for example, when it comes to uploading, you can create, if you wanted to, very quickly your own YouTube-like website. And I'll walk you through a demo of what that can actually look like for you. There are APIs, so all the different products I'll be talking to you today about, for the most part actually, there's a couple that don't, have an API. So if you have developers, if you would like to do them yourselves, there are APIs that you can access programmatically to get access to a lot of the functionality and the data that resides behind those APIs. From a front-end user interface perspective, there are a set of widgets that you can actually quickly drag and drop into your own website, and I'll demo some of those for you. We also will talk about some custom players and the player API very quickly. Okay, so let's switch over now to some demos. So right now I'll show you what these custom players within YouTube will actually look like. Okay, so here, basically there's a feature within YouTube. So if you all have YouTube accounts, there's a feature in your account profile that allows you to create a custom video player. So basically I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to come to the custom video player section. وأنا هنا هكتب مثلا this is my custom player. هكتب بالدescription. وهنا is this basically الحتة دي اللي موجودة هنا على اليمين. This is a preview of what is the result of your interaction with the wizard. فهنا مثلا ممكن اغير الالوان بتاعة البلاير لو عايز. وهنا في طبعا اللاي اوت بتاع البلاير نفسه. فلو انا مثلا عايز اضيف كذا فيديو ممكن يتحطوا كلهم في ويندو واحد او we can switch it مثلا to this one here where on the right you can actually have small clips where the user can click on each one individually. Okay? وهنا طبعا you can actually specify the content that you would like integrated into the player. If you have videos that you've starred yourself, if you have favorites, if you have playlists that you've added, you can add that to your custom video player. فهنا مثلا I'll select favorites and I selected a few. I will select this one. Okay? And دلوقتي طبعا it's not going to preview it بس تحت هنا it has a button that says generate code. I generate the code. All goes well. هيبقى عندي code هنا. So there's some code here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll very quickly switch to another screen. I will paste this code in there. Here it is. And then I'll save this. So C/X. Oops. Oops. Go C/X.htm. And of course عشان okay, there it comes. So basically this is the result of the actual the player being integrated on HTML page. فهنا أنا مثلا في البلاي ليست أنا عملته ده I had a couple of other videos. فهنا I can switch to the next one. And of course طبعا here you can actually play the videos and you can go through this. So I'll stop this. But just to give you an idea, this is a simple HTML page. But this you can have hosted في أي حتة عندكم on your own websites. If you have it hosted on App Engine, you can do the same thing. And just to give you, to show that, I'll just put in this as a test here, refresh, and you can see طبعا مش هعمل formatting يعني, but you can see that right here is where it's going to display, and then here I can add whatever HTML I want around that. So this is a good example of something you can embed directly on your website. So I'll switch back. I'll talk about the Player API very quickly, and I'll give an example to show what this is. So we have a concept of a Chromeless Player, and I'll really drive this home by showing you this. So here, so a Chromeless Player basically is this الحتة دي بس. This video playing area only is what we call the Chromeless Player. With the Chromeless Player, you can basically design your own interaction, because this, of course, is very associated with YouTube. If you, for example, you want to generate your own site that has a very different look and feel, you can do that very easily. And I'll show you an example just to show you what this potentially could look like. So here's a site called Totlol, if it comes up. And what it is, they've basically done they have a very clever integration with YouTube, برضو using our APIs. And this is a site that is basically a community for kid-friendly YouTube videos. What people do is parents go into YouTube and they flag videos that they think are applicable to kids, okay? And so you come to this site directly, and you can see specific videos that are actually very catered to the to kids. So you can see their collections that were created: Sesame Street Kids, Happy Baby videos, ABC, and so on and so forth. فحاجة زي كده, this is something that you could do as a business. You can create the exact same site with the APIs that we provide. So I'll click on one, and it'll start playing. طبعا هنا you can tell, as soon as it displays, it looks very different than YouTube. So they've built, using the Chromeless Player, this area here, their own interaction. Okay, and you can do the exact same thing. If you want to do full screen, you click on this and you expand full screen using all the APIs that we provide. Sorry? You want to watch? عايزين نتفرجوا على الفيديو ولا؟ Okay, sorry. All right. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is YouTube widgets. برضو زي ما أنا وريت لكم قبل كده, the ability to add custom code. There's also the ability to add canned widgets that actually embed specific YouTube functionality. And here's an example right here. So you can put specific videos on your page that are pre-canned, for example. So you can do مثلا you can have well, first I'll show you the orientation. هنا تحت is the actual preview. فأنا هنا مثلا ممكن أغير الاتجاه الويدجت أعملها مثلا vertical. Well, for this demo, we'll leave it as vertical. And I can say مثلا there's 3 examples here of canned channels. I can show the most viewed videos, top rated videos, or recently featured videos. Those are the ones that you see already on YouTube today. And on the YouTube site, they're using the exact same API. What I could also do is do none of these. I can specify a specific YouTube channel eyes, or I can do a specific YouTube search. So here I could type in anything you want. Cars, let's put in Ferrari, مثلا. If I type in Ferrari, and then of course it updates, and you see a preview of it right here. فدلوقتي هدوس هنا على show code, وزي آخر مرة كده, it generates all the code. I'm not going to do it this time, I think you get the idea. I take this, I copy, I paste it into my HTML page, and what you will get, and I promise you, is what you see on the right-hand side here. So again, another example of the really cool things you can do from a content creation perspective with YouTube. Okay, we're now going to talk about Google Translate. How many people have used Google Translate? Okay, so I'm not going to demo Google Translate. Perfect, okay. Okay, so I was going to demo, and I'm not going to demo now. Okay, خلاص. There is another feature in Google Translate. Let's see if you know this one. Do you know that with Google Translate, you can embed this widget on your page to automatically translate your website? How many people know this one? Okay, I'll say it again. if you have a website لو عندك مثلا موقع أي حاجة يعني about geography of Palestine for example وانت كتبت السايت بالعربي بس ايه you want to make it available to English users, French users, Chinese users وهكذا. What you typically do is you have to get it translated. صح? What we can do with Google Translate is you can embed this little widget here on your page, your main page, and this will appear مثلا wherever you want. So you can have it on your top left, top right, وهكذا. And then you select the language here. When you select it, it'll automatically translate your page to that language. Have you seen this? Okay. So this is something that I could potentially demo, but I actually need a website. I'll show you. Oh, yes. Well, I was actually going to show something different, but hold on. Okay, so here's what you need to remember for this. فطبعا هنا انتوا عارفين انت ممكن تكتبوا هنا اي سايت هنا مثلا معلش this is an example you could give and طبعا we know it's in English right بس ايه if we don't know what the actual source language is احنا ممكن نقول مثلا detect language فمن غير انت ما تفكر يعني what the language is you may not know the language you can say detect the language واحنا عايزين نترجمها مثلا to Arabic okay so we could do that مثلا and if we clicked on translate it'll translate the main CNN website if all goes well. And so this is the CNN website that was actually in English, so I'll show you that one. So this is the exact same page. So this is the original version, and what we did is we applied our translation technology to that site. Okay, so this is some of the things that you can do. Now coming back to what I just showed you, تحت هنا this is what most people might not know. تحت هنا في there's a link here called Get Translation Tools Now. If you click on this, this is the actual gadget that you would like to add. Well, it's very easy. So basically here you select the language of your web page. مثلا لو عندك الصفحة بتاعتك بالعربي, you select Arabic. So it's going to update this little script here. You copy this, okay? You copy this, and then you put it onto your HTML page. And what you'll find is this little gadget will appear now on your main page, and if anybody clicks on that, they'll get all the languages that we support and will translate your page for you automatically. So this is a good way of penetrating markets that, of course, that are outside of Arabic. Good, I showed you something you didn't know about Translate. I'll show you في برضو من ضمن ال APIs اللي عندنا, there's an API for Translate. And I'll show you an example of what somebody built with the API. فهنا this is an example somebody built using our Translate APIs. And what I could do, مثلا I could type in, say, Islam here. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to translate the search terms from English to Arabic. And what it's going to do, it's going to do what they call a bilingual search. So it's actually going to do a search in English with Islam. We're going to translate Islam to Arabic and do the same search. And I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what somebody built using our APIs very easily and simply. So what you see here, طبعا this is the query I typed in, Islam shows up here. We translated Islam using the API. They translated it to Al-Islam, and then we ran the same query bil-Arabi here. So this is a great way of you to see the actual value in some of our APIs. Okay, let's move on. I'm also happy to talk about Google Tahrib, which is a product that we launched. Have people heard about Tahrib at all? Okay, so we'll walk through that. So the purpose of Tahrib is we found that many people don't have the ability, they don't have keyboards مثلا that have Arabic letters on them. فأنا بالذات مثلا I have a US laptop, I don't have Arabic keys on them. وأنا أصلا if I did, I would type very slowly. The idea of Tahrib is to do what we call Arabic transliteration. So basically we take the phonetics of English, using Latin characters, and we convert that over to Arabic. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Actually, why don't you give me let me give you one example and I'll show you how it works, وبعد كده you can give me another example. مثلا هكتب مثلا أنا هنا في رام الله. Okay? فأنا هكتب أنا A N A. I hit space. I you see it automatically transliterates هنا, okay, and then في say Palestine, right? So this is what I typed in. I hit space, and we automatically convert it to Arabic. فبالنسبة لي أنا بكتب طبعا إنجليزي كويس and I type very quickly, بس عربي I don't. So this is something that you can use برضو within the labs page itself, or you can use it within your own products that you want to develop. The other thing طبعا is طبعا our transliteration may not be perfectly accurate, but you can click on a word. فلو مش عاجبك مثلا transliteration, you have multiple options here. You can switch between some of the potential other options that you have for transliteration. Okay? So this is something that you could do. Actually running out of, I need to probably go a little bit quicker. I'll show you an example of a site. So there's an API برضو for تعريب, and I'll show you a site that actually has recently integrated تعريب. So this is a site called muslimvideo.com. Very similar to what we were talking about using YouTube APIs. I don't believe they use them yet. بس هنا طبعا I could do the same search I did before. Islam طبعا. This is an English query. What I would do instead is I click on the letter Ain, which is basically Google تعريب. Okay, and then it'll actually enable تعريب. وهنا لو كتبت Islam, it automatically converts it. Okay, فلو انت if you have actual websites بالعربي, you can integrate the exact same functionality that I just showed you very simply, just like muslimvideo.com has. وهم أصلا they also created a تعريب tutorial. We didn't even ask them to do this. They created a tutorial that basically shows their users how to use Google تعريب. So you're welcome طبعا to go to muslimvideo.com and check out their tutorial. So I'll show you this really quickly. I'm just waiting for it to load. So you can't hear it, but so this. Okay, so you get the point. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm not going to talk too much about Blogger. I'm assuming everybody knows about blogs here in this room. Okay. What I want to basically mention the few quick points about bloggers. أول حاجة Blogger موجود بالعربي. فلو أنتوا عايزين تدونوا بالعربي, you can do this very simply with the Blogger tool. تاني حاجة, Blogger also has APIs available to you. So if you want to integrate Blogger functionality برضو in your website as a business, you can do that very easily with the Blogger APIs. Okay, طبعا this is an example of a simple blog that's available in Arabic. So you've seen this. There are many, by the way, hundreds of thousands of blogs that have been written in Arabic. Next product I'll show you very quickly is Knoll. So Knoll means basically a unit of knowledge. For the idea with Knoll Bardu is the fact that we'd like to see users creating high quality content online. So the model is similar to Wikipedia. I think one of the differences you'll find is that, at least with Knoll, you are the actual authoritative source of the information that you're posting online. Whereas with other tools, it's not exactly clear who is writing what. So with Knoll, you can actually be the one controlling what is being said. طبعا you can interact and collaborate like you can with many of our other tools, and طبعا people can actually respond to you, add comments to your Knoll, and if you want, you can incorporate their content. في هنا مثلا there's an example of واحد كتب عن الحصنة الخيل هنا مثلا. So he actually wrote this long article about horses. وطبعا حاطين صورته, هو حاطط طبعا صورته وكده. And you also see here at the bottom, you can get some interesting statistics about his article. طبعا هنا you can see زيارات هنا. There's about 2,600 visits so far. And في هنا 6 تعليقات في البوست ده. So you can do some really interesting things with Knoll. طبعا if anything you write to Knoll will be, of course, available, indexed, and searched on google.com. Here's another example of another person that's written in Knoll also in Arabic. I'll touch very quickly on Google Groups. Does everybody know Google Groups? Okay, all right. So I will skip over this. The main point I want to mention is most of our products have APIs available to you. So a lot of the functionality you see in our existing products, you can do a lot of the same things in your own websites. So using our Google Data APIs and a lot of our product APIs, you can integrate a lot of the rich functionality that you see in some of our existing applications very easily. And the talk we gave yesterday, that I gave yesterday with one of our engineers, will got into a lot of those technical details, and that'll be available on the website and available on YouTube. So here's another example, just to kind of drive the point home, is that you can very quickly, using our Ajax APIs, you can create what we call a mashup, which is basically integrating, at least on this side, a bunch of different APIs together. And we've integrated Google Maps. Here we have blog integration, and we have Picasa, which is for photos. Here we have YouTube. So you can do this screen very easily with very little knowledge of HTML. So this is something that you can do that's really powerful. The other thing that I wanted to mention is content syndication. So if you're actually creating content yourself, you can also syndicate that, meaning that you can also make it available to other content providers so they can aggregate it and render it in whatever form they would like. We also provide our own syndication tools, okay? And I'll show you what that looks like. So here there's on this specific URL, and this is again recorded, so if you don't get the URL, you can take it later. But there's a set of these specific APIs that we have that are available already in canned HTML for you. Okay, so we have news, we have maps. Taban, you've seen video already. We have blogs, books, and I believe that's it. فهنا مثلا I could select news show, and I want to have news about whatever you want. Timbo was talking about Amri Diab. So I'll type that. مثلا, and I will uncheck top headlines. I will say I want the Arabic edition. All right, and then طبعا we see some news articles here. احنا ممكن نغير برضو ال user interface language, which doesn't work. So I'll switch back. All right, and then هنا طبعا what this is what we call this this news role. فاللي هيحصل, you're going to see this actual content coming from Google News directly, but you can syndicate that content on your own website. So if you want to add your own actual this widget itself, you copy this HTML onto your own website, and you get this basically for free. That's how easy it is. Okay, and then the same thing applies to the other ones that are in here. If you want to integrate maps, so if you want to have an About Us page and you want to indicate the location of your business, you can do this very easily with map search. Okay, you specify where exactly you'd want to be, and then you can integrate what you see here on the right very simply into your web page. Again, another good example of how we can syndicate content and make it available on other sites. So, so just to kind of wrap up, there are many things that you can do, and the opportunity really is up to you. So I'm hoping that you walk out of this session with an idea of some of the tools that we provide, and that you really need to just come up with the idea. The tools are already there for you. So examples, of course, is you can map photographs. If you have pictures, you can overlay those on top of maps. Right over here, you can combine data, for example, Google Calendar with contacts, and you can also, for example, create your own video site using YouTube, like I was showing you before. And I think there's a lot of things you can do. Hena Taban, Palestine, around doing a lot of novel, interesting, unique things with YouTube. So with that, that is all. Thank you very much.